I want to say shalom, shalom. We want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We say Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. We say thank you for this truth. Thank you for the knowledge and understanding that you given through the men that you set up, through the apostles and elders and the elect men on the four corners of the planet Earth. We're gonna jump right into this news story and get some recent stuff that's going on and show you brothers, edify you brothers as best as I can. So let's jump right into it. You guys remember the Georgia Guidestones, okay? You had a situation where they placed this new block right here, okay? Alright, but there's a situation also that happened where they removed the block. So that's showing that it was a short time for you to see it and to get it in, and it was to show you how the Most High works. This is the out when they took the block out, but there was people there to film it and to grab some of the block. So it was set up in the spirit to happen this way. Okay, that's why the Most High had these people here, because at the end of the day, we have no free will. The Most High, through the power that He has, controls us. Okay, He controls our spirits and weans us the way He wants us to go. So He set up for these people to be here and to be able to watch and to be able to take pictures of this block, man. Okay?
Oh, we're good. I got about an hour and 15 minutes on this.
We're gonna fast forward a little bit. He's just getting the ladder right now.
Can you turn around so I can see your face? Oh, it's got roots on it. Eight. 14.
Is your dad a relative?
You might be on YouTube. Just saying.
Alright, this is the verse. This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. As the rivers of the waters, he turneth it whithersoever he will." It says he turneth it whithersoever he will. "Every way of man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts." Alright, that's it. The main thing is in the first verse. That the Most High forced these people to be here, man. So they was able to capture this cube, man.
It's crazy how it fit perfect in there.
Yeah, it's only on the underside too.
This dumb bitch.
Oh, thank you. So you put something else back up in that spot, or what's coming up for good? Okay.
Oh, can I have that piece? It's got something on it.
So he breaks it up and he disperses it out to the people that are there, okay? So if we go back, to the article, you can see here the sides of the cube, okay? And we'll read this here a little bit. We won't get too deep into it because you brothers can look at it. You know, there's a lot of information. I don't discern numbers like that, but I can, I just thought it'd be a good video to let you guys see right now. I'm gonna do a little research and read up on it myself, okay? But where's the part I wanted to read? Alright, we'll start here. It says, "But I've been thinking about this a lot recently. If the date 8/16/2014 is important, I can't find anything newsworthy about it. If the stone cube had been placed there as a meaningless hoax on that date, we would have known a month sooner. The nearby cameras would have caught the act and there would have been no mystery about it. The fact that cameras have not caught someone in the act of placing the stone cube suggests that the responsible for the monument did it themselves. An officially sanctioned act with the cube that does have an importance, though hidden warnings. It can't be a warning about the event 8/16/2014, for that already had passed uneventfully. What if we still start with the 8, but rotate through the cube the other way?" Roll down here, and it says, "While European language like English, Slovakia, it says, while European language like English, Spanish, French, etc. all read left to right, not all languages on the Georgia Guidestones do. Arabic, English, hieroglyphics, and Hebrew all read right to left. If warning about the future makes you think of biblical prophecies, as I so often do, then the importance of Hebrew comes to mind. And we know these so-called gutter rat Jews, they like to do things left to right, or right to left, okay? When it goes into their decoding and things of that nature. And it says, an importance of Hebrew comes to mind. If we read those numbers right to left, then instead of the past date of 8/16/2014, we have the date of the near future 8/14/2016 to worry about. Lord willing, we ain't here that long, okay? I may be biased in that pay attention to biblical prophecies of the year 2016 and 2019. So you brothers can look up on this. I'll post the link. I just got a whole bunch of other stuff to look into, especially with this Ebola thing. Alright, we got this devil here by the name of Bill Gates, okay? And I'm going to play a video that Bill Gates himself has done.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
We
but
can
there
lower
we see
that.
an increase of about 1.3. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
$10 billion over the next 10 years to make it the year of the vaccines. What does that mean exactly?
Well, over this decade, we believe unbelievable progress can be made, both inventing new vaccines and making sure they get out to all the children who need them. We could cut the number of children who die every year from about 9 million to half of that if we have success on it. And the benefits there in terms of reducing sickness, reducing population growth, it really allows the society a chance to take care of itself once you've made that intervention. And the benefits there in terms of reducing sickness, reducing population growth. But if we go back to the key metric, which is what the foundation looks at on all its stuff, can we drop the number of children who die per year in half and get the reduction in sickness and population growth that comes with that? That is sort of front of mind all the time. Get the reduction in sickness and population growth that comes with that. That is we've seen now there's a type of foreign assistance for vaccines or for AIDS treatment that are incredibly effective. These are all about saving lives. And the good news is that as you make those breakthroughs, the population growth in the country goes down. These are all about saving lives. The population growth in the country goes down. The good news is that...
All right, now let's get right into the articles. And it says, CDC warns funeral homes in U.S. to prepare for Ebola victims. See that? We're going to play the video. So if they're warning funeral homes, it's going to break here, man. Okay? And my father is back in Sierra Leone, and he told me what went on, man. It was a fear pandemic, okay? They flooded it with fear, so where people didn't shake hands, it was a fear mongering. Okay, I mean, it's a real thing. Trust and believe, it's real people out there getting sick. That's no worries. But in some sense, it's going to be a fear propaganda, and they're going to take that and they're going to run with it, man. Okay, so we'll play this video, read the article. Oh, we'll just read it. And it says, a 3-page list of recommendations instructs funeral workers to wear protective gear while handling Ebola victims, as well as warning them not to carry out autopsies or to embalm corpses. If the outbreak of the potential deadly virus is in West Africa, why are funeral homes in America being given guidelines? Last night, it was revealed that a Dallas hospital is holding a patient, a potential Ebola victim, in strict isolation after the patient was admitted based on symptoms and recent travel history. At least Elisa English, executive director of the Georgia Funeral Director Association, dismissed suggestions that Americans should be alarmed by the recommendations. Absolutely not. In fact, if they weren't hearing about it, they should be a whole lot more concerned, said English. As we reported earlier this month, the U.S. State Department ordered 160,000 Ebola hazmat suits, prompting concerns that officials were preparing for an outbreak within the United States. While Ebola has so far been confined let me see here. It says, while Ebola has far been confined as a continent to Africa, speculations has arisen that the virus could have gone airborne to at least a limited extent. Michael T. Otterholm, director of the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policies.
The evening is a very busy time. We're getting we're getting the kids ready for
Lord willing, this video play. We'll watch the video since it wants to play now.
Situations are unfolding as storms are moving through. There's so much going on in the evening with weather every 10 minutes. You never have to wait.
In a CBS 46 exclusive, we want to know why the U.S. government is issuing guidelines to local funeral homes on how to handle the remains of Ebola patients.
So here's the question. Does the U.S. expect Ebola to turn into a serious health threat here? CBS 46's Jocelyn Tonello joins us now live from Decatur. So, Jocelyn, what did you find out?
Well, Scott and Tracy, there are some 700 funeral homes across Georgia like this one right here, and the CDC has issued all of them guidelines like this one, advising how to handle the remains of Ebola patients, and we wanted to find out why.
Ebola first hit Georgia's soil this summer with the arrival of 2 sick American missionaries from West Africa. Both made full recoveries, but new guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control to U.S. funeral homes leave some questioning what's next.
The best we can do as a society is to do our best to prepare for it. That's what we've done.
Lisa English heads up the Georgia Funeral Directors Association.
More communication.
She's talking about this information from the CDC distributed to the state's 2,000 funeral directors. It says Ebola can be transmitted in post-mortem care. The recommendations to funeral workers are chilling. They include wearing personal protective equipment such as surgical scrub suits and avoiding autopsies and embalming.
How am I going to know you're okay?
We wanted to know, should people in Georgia be alarmed?
Absolutely not. In fact, if they weren't hearing about it, they should be a whole lot more concerned.
English says Georgia has one of the country's most thorough public health plans. That includes detailed planning for all hazards.
We have a plan for any kind of hazards, not just Ebola, pandemic flu, tornado, flood.
And she says the fact that every contingency is planned for should help Georgians feel safe.
The fact that they are on the job.
Whatever. So that's showing it's coming, man. Yeah, it's coming over here. So we're gonna jump into the next article, and it says this is an article that was posted in 2006. All right, and this is to show that these elites are moving upon their plans. They want population control. Okay. The higher ups, the so-called, but the thing about it, somebody said it smart. He says, why don't they start with themselves, man? If they feel the population is getting so much big, murk yourself off, kill yourself off, kill your whole family. Then that'll knock some population down. Okay, who are you to act like the Most High that depends who lives and who dies, man? And and you are the ones to know how many people should be on the planet. You didn't create this planet. You don't know the capacity the planet can hold, man. And the planet's getting bigger for you ignorant people out there. Scientists are already proven that the tectonic, that man, these people were. Let's read it. It says scientists calls for death of humanity. Read it again. Scientists calls for death of humanity by John Balatin. News Weekly, April 15, 2006. And look where it's at. A Texas scientist advocates killing 9/10 of the world's population by an airborne Ebola virus. An award-winning Texas scientist was giving a standing ovation. They gave this motherfucker applause and shit. Stood and gave him applause. An award-winning Texas scientist was giving a standing ovation after he advocated the extermination of 90% of the Earth population by an airborne Ebola virus. The University of Texas Laboratory oncologist Dr. Eric R. Panikai was addressing the 109th meeting of the Texas Academy of Science at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas in early March, after the Academy had named him 2006 Distinguished Texas Scientist. Present at Panikia's speech was Forrest M. Mim III, a popular scientist, writer, and editor of the bi-weekly journal and a citizen scientist. He reported, "Something curious occurred a minute before Panikia began speaking. An official of the Academy approached a video camera operator at the front of the auditorium and engaged him in animated conversation. The camera operator did not look pleased as he pointed the lens of the big camera to the ceiling and slowly walked away. This curious incident came to mind a few minutes later when Professor Packenau began his speech by explaining what the general public is not yet ready to hear, what he was about to tell us. Because of many years of experience as a writer and editor, Pacquiao's strange introduction and the TV camera incident raised a red flag in my mind. I grabbed a notepad. Meeting Dr. Doom, the citizen scientist, March 31st, 2006. Panikai began his speech by condemning anthropocentrism, or the idea of human race occupies a privileged position in nature. He explained, "We're not better than bacteria." Wow. He argued that the sharp increase in human population since the onset of the industrialism was destroying the planet. He warned that Earth would not survive unless its human population was reduced to a tenth of its present number. He then offered drastic solutions. Accompanying his remarks was a slide depicting the four horsemen of the apocalypse. War and famine was insufficient for solving global overpopulation, he explained. Instead, disease was far more effective and swift. At this point, Pacquiao displayed a slideshow showing rows of human skulls. AIDS took too long to kill people off, he explained. He preferred methods of exterminating over 5 billion humans, beginning with a via airborne Ebola reston, because it is both highly lethal and kills victims in days rather than years. However, as Mims observed, Professor Pacquiao did not mention what Ebola victims die a slow and torturous death, as the virus entails a cascade of biological calamities inside the victims, then eventually liquefies the internal organs. After praising the Ebola virus for its effective at killing, Pacquiao paused, leaned over the lecturer, looked at us, and carefully said, We've got airborne 95% mortality in humans, killing humans. Think about that." After he finished his address, the audience burst into applause. Okay? Let me get this real quick. This is the book of Ezekiel. We're going to torture these devils, man. Through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we're going to torture that. Now I see why the Lord's going to burn them up. The Lord's going to burn you up, Esau. After you serve a hardcore slavery, you're going to be burnt up because of the thoughts in your mind, man. This is Ezekiel 30, verse 19. Ezekiel 30 and verse 19, and it says, "Thus will I execute judgment in Egypt, and they shall know that I am the Lord." Okay, and where is the modern day Egypt? Is America. That's why you have the Egyptian pyramid on the back of the dollar. Alright? Let me see here. Let's jump to Psalms 9 and 19. Psalms 9 and 16. This is the book of Psalms 9. This is 9 and 17. It says, "The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget the Most High. For the needy shall not always be forgotten." And who is the needy? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are spread out through the four corners of the planet Earth. You're the true needy, the needy that the Lord cares about. It says, "For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectations of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the heathens be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men." They're men. Men don't have to stand in that realm of deciding things of that nature, man. That's the Most High's power and in His will. Okay, so let's get into the next article. And to show, it says, U.S. bioweapon lab in Sierra Leone at the epicenter of the Ebola outbreak. It says U.S. biolab with links to Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation at the core of the Ebola epidemic. A stunning piece of propaganda is established, and establishment newspapers, The Telegraph, seems to be preparing the British people for a false flag Ebola outbreak at the Commonwealth Games starting in Glasgow on July 23rd. It says Telegraph burst the key aspect of the story, the evidence that the U.S. bioweapons lab in Sierra Leone with links to the Soros and Bill Melinda Gates Foundation is likely the origins of the current Ebola outbreak. Alright, so you brothers can look into that and see that that's been out. So, but let's go into this right here. It says this is the human Ebola virus species and composite and method thereof. It's patented, man. This is the patents. This is Google patents, and this is the patent number for Ebola. Ebola, man. Inventors John S. Tower, and you got 4 more. You got also 4 more patents. We'll read this one. It says composite and method includes the related to the Ebola Bangdual virus. Ebola are provided. Compositions are provided that are oridal and immunogen to elicit and immune responsive or protection from Ebola challenges as subject such as permit. Inventive methods are directed to detection and treatment of Ebola infections. So you can't treat this virus unless it's patented, man. It's just like copyrights. Okay, you try to go in and deal with this virus is like copyright. It says human Ebola virus species and composition of methods thereof. Okay, it says Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America, November 26, and according an association number 2006769291, this disposit was not made to an international attorney. Okay, so this is the different patent number on it. You got this one. Okay, so that's different forms that they have it patented, man. So this is Satan's device. That's what I'm trying to come and tell you. This is Satan's device. It says the CDC and the NIH and Bill Gates owns the patents on Ebola or existing Ebola and related vaccines. Mandatory vaccinations are near, and that's going to lead into the RFD chip also, man. And it says, I have previously reported that Monsanto's or Monsanton, as many call them, are partnered with the Department of Defense to use a proxy third-party company to develop a vaccine against Ebola. The seed money began at $1.5 million. The value of the deal could grow to an estimated $86 million. The company name is Techmira Pharmaceutical Corporation, TKMTO, a leading developer in RNA interference therapeutics. TKM Ebola, an anti-Ebola virus, RNAi therapeutic, is being developed under a $140 million contract with the United States Department of Defense. The Medical Countermeasure System Biodefense Therapeutics Joint Product Management Office. As breaking and shocking of a news story as this has the potential to be, the real story is that this is not the most important part of the Ebola threat, which is invading the United States. The truth of the matter is that these unholy and untrustworthy associations, when it comes to fighting the Ebola virus, represent the mere tip of the iceberg. It says the moron digs into who is behind the creation and the development of vaccines for treating Ebola, the more the conspiracy network widens. The most amazing fact is how incredibly easy it was to locate this information. I want to be clear on this point. Ebola was invented. A vaccine for Ebola has existed for 8 to 10 years. Some government-sponsored institutions, as well as some of the global elites, have positioned themselves to profit enormously from the spread of the virus and developed of the dissemination of mandatory Ebola vaccines and the imposition of total martial law in the process. Here is the proof, and there's the patent number, okay, which I just showed you. Alright, so I'm going to read these verses, and I hope you brothers were edified. I don't want to make it too long. I'm going to read this one right here. This is, let me get Colossians. I'll get Ephesians. It's Ephesians 6 and 12. It's Ephesians 6 and verse 12. And it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And Bill Gates is one of the richest men on the planet Earth. And look what he's plotting on. Look what he uses his money for. Okay, he doesn't use it to benefit the human race. Alright. And then this is Colossians 1 and verse 13. 1 and 13, and it says, we'll start at verse 11. Strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness, giving thanks unto the Father which have made us meet as a Salakia, giving thanks unto the Father which have made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. Okay, and that's to the elect. And it says, who have delivered us from the powers of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom he have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. Okay, so the Most High saved us from this. All this is coming for the wicked, man. The righteous, we gonna shine in these days. Lord willing, we be of that number. All we can do is just put hope, man, and just, it's coming. Okay, the Lord is time of judgment. Alright, so with that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Dua to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for this truth. Thank you thank you, and much love to you brothers on the four corners of the planet Earth that's keeping faith and waiting. With that, I'm going to say shalom.